Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to transform these ingredients into this and then into this delicious final product. Let's get started. We're going to start off by preheating our oven to 150 degrees. This is just me, doing my thing, baby, doing my thing. Next, we have our ingredients, starting off with our eggs, moving right along to our vanilla of essence, baby. And then we have our cream of tartar from the Pick n Pay brand and our baking powder from the royal family, honey. And then we have our bicarbonate of soda from the Robinson's brand and the Farm Foods cake flour. When I tell you that goodness definitely shines, baby, it shines, okay? And then we have our butter, our day-to-day use, Rama, baby, in 500 grams, okay? Let's move right along. You're gonna need 3 bowls, but now I'm just gonna use 2 sharp. Let's focus on the 1 bowl. We're gonna start off by taking our butter. Yes, we're gonna use the whole butter, okay? This is our softened butter. We're gonna take that and just put it inside of the bowl. After that, I'm gonna proceed by adding 2 cups of brown sugar, next we just use our wooden spoon just to mix the sugar and the butter until we get a creamy consistency. In this process, you can use a whisk if you have it at home. Please, you don't have to use a spoon like me. Now this is the consistency that we are aiming for. See how creamy that is, baby? Okay, now you're gonna set that aside and moving on to our next bowl. In our next bowl, you're gonna use 4 large eggs. You're gonna crack them inside of the bowl. Ensure that you don't get any shells in there, please, for my sake. Please. And then you're gonna pour 2 tablespoons of vanilla essence. I'm using a teaspoon, that's why you see me pouring a lot. I'm using a teaspoon, disclaimer. Next up, you're literally just gonna mix your eggs and your vanilla essence. Please don't overbeat your eggs as a belief. Now back to our first bowl. This is just me pouring the egg and vanilla essence mixture into our first bowl, and we're gonna mix that as well until we have what? A creamy consistency, babes. A creamy consistency. And we're gonna set that bowl aside and introduce what? Our third bowl, which we're gonna use for our flour. We're gonna pour 8 cups of flour in our bowl. Next up, we're gonna pour half a teaspoon of our bicarbonate of soda into our flour mixture and half a teaspoon of our cream of tartar into our flour mixture. Then we're gonna conclude by adding 3 tablespoons of baking powder into our mixture. Disclaimer, I'm using a teaspoon. That's why you see me pouring double the quantity that I'm supposed to. Next up, we're just gonna mix our dry ingredients together. Ensure that you mix it properly. And also a disclaimer, my hands are clean because I washed them before I started everything, okay? With soap. After mixing everything up properly, just create a hole in the middle of our flour so that we can pour our mixture inside. This leads us to our final step, which is pouring the mixture in the middle of the flour and just mixing everything up. The whole mixing with the whole spoon thing was getting a bit too much here, and I opted to using my hands. Like I said, my hands are clean. So using my hands made it a bit more easier, because one thing about the consistency, baby, it was thick, just like the owner, okay, just like me. And this is how your dough should look like. You see how easily I can just work through it and I can form a bowl with it. This is exactly what it should be like. With our dough ready and all, we're gonna move on to the baking part. Okay, this is the pan that we're gonna use. This is just me greasing the pan, because you want to ensure that your cookies come off easily once they're out of the oven. And we're back to playing with our dough again, okay? So we're just gonna form little balls, and then we're gonna shape that out using a fork. Because one thing about me, I'm gonna teach you guys how to use the things that you already have. You see how I'm pressing the dough a couple of times with my fork to ensure that the surface is flat, because we don't want thick biscuits, honey. We're not baking scones, okay? Ensure that it is flat to the core. Even if it means pressing it 20 times, let's do that. Let us do that. While we're waiting for our first batch of cookies to bake in the oven, we are greasing our other pan, because life has to go on. We're doing the very same step that we did. And just look how amazing they turned out. I wish you guys can smell the picture. The video actually, I wish you guys can smell how amazing it smells. But once you guys have tried this recipe, please come back and subscribe and comment and share this video with your beloved friends and family so that they can also try it as well. Don't be stingy. Mwah. Love y'all.